Hey everyone, it's MultWheatGod coming at you with another discussion video, back by popular demand. And by popular demand, I mean two people have asked me to reinstate this series, two of my closest friends. Not that it was ever cancelled to begin with, but I thought that I'd bring it back after a short hiatus, following personal circumstances which meant I wasn't entirely in the right headspace to be making these kind of videos. But now I'm back, feeling good, and I'm hoping to give you guys some good content. So I want to talk about a few things today. I've got some exciting plans, namely that I'm planning on upsizing, which I think is the opposite of downsizing. I might be wrong on that. It might just be upgrading, but the opposite of that is downgrading. So I don't know. Either way, I'm planning on bigger things. Me and my brother are thinking of doing a podcast. One in which we may do some freestyling as well. That might be part of our podcast because that's something we really both enjoy doing together, and we don't totally suck at, but don't get your hopes up. We're not exactly Tupac or Biggie, although we hope to get to somewhere near that level. Even within 100 miles of that would be great, just thinking about it. But we're not here to try and, introduce any new elements to the music scene. We're just hoping to have fun. So discussions about philosophy, because me and my brother we're more or less on the same wavelength about this kind of stuff. We've both got the same taste for philosophy and rapping and maybe some other shit, who knows. So, a friend of mine actually suggested that I should do these discussion videos with someone else so that I can bounce back off of them. They can bounce back off of my ideas. That's why podcasts have more than one person, so that people can bounce off of each other. And, my brother's the perfect person to do that with, especially during lockdown. So, we'll see about that. I'm hoping to do that. But anyway, enough about that. What I wanted to talk about today was friendship. Thank you to Mighty Matty for suggesting this topic. He suggested a bunch, but I wanted to do this one first because, I think it's one that we can all relate to and something that we're all craving right now. Friendship, well, not craving, but something we're all missing rather, because it's difficult right now because I'm sure that everyone has realised by this point that even if they were told this before, they can now feel that humans are just inherently social creatures. We crave it like any other. Need food, drink, cigarettes. It's another craving that we get, and it's one that can't be satisfied with anything else than the genuine article. I guess that's what social media is for, but I'd argue that it doesn't really do the job, even if it feels like it, which is why I think it causes us some unhappiness. But that's a discussion for another day. I'm not doing a live gameplay today. This is something I recorded way back when. Different game, Mafia 3. Hope you guys enjoy it. But I wanted to really focus on my discussion video for this, so I'm not doing it live. Just thought I should let you guys know. What was I going to say? Shit. Friendship. Right. This is why I need someone else to do this with me. Because whenever I forget what I'm talking about, hopefully they'll have been listening. It's really important to remember right now that this is not the new norm, right? This is like a bad trip. You might trick yourself into thinking this is how it's going to be from now on, that this is the new state of reality. Fear not. Like a bad trip, one day, soon, it'll be over. It'll be over soon. As long as we're sensible, and we're not like Dominic Cummings, we're not coming and going from our houses, we're staying put, recognising that as long as we're sensible, then this will be over soon, and the worst has already been, and hopefully that will remain the case as long as we're sensible. I didn't want this to turn into a PDA on lockdown measures, but I guess that's what it's turned into. You just got to remember, this is not the new norm. Well, it is the new norm for now, but this is not how things are always going to be. So if you're craving social interaction, I mean, that's fine. In the UK, you can meet up with people as long as you're 2 meters away, but that's, what's the point of meeting up with people if you can't give them a hug? So that's not me officially recommending to meet up with people if you don't follow social distancing guidelines, but I wouldn't blame you if you went in for a big hug, with whoever you're meeting up with, because I do the same. We're only human. But friendship is really important. Having that third shoulder to lean on, it's vitally important. And some people don't realize how important it is. Some people feel like, some people need to be reminded that they need a shoulder to stand on. Some people won't ask for help unless you ask them if they need it, and some people don't realize that they need it. But that third shoulder to lean on, it's so important. Some people just don't realize that they're not doing so well on their own 2 feet, and they need a helping hand. And so whatever your circumstances are, you just got to take count of what you have, where you are right now. Just remember that maybe you could be happier, maybe you couldn't be, but it's just important. Just important. And once again, as I'm giving this hedonistic advice, I'm breaking people's necks on screen. I'm a fan of juxtaposition, and also a fan of big words, apparently, that I learned during GCSE. Wow, I am ripe with self-criticism today. What can I say? It's early in the morning. It is currently 4:48 AM, and we are just vibing. Just vibing. I tell you, there's something about seeing the sun come up in the morning that's so therapeutic, You see the sunrise, provided it's not too cloudy. Hear the birds. Even if you can't see the sun, you can hear the birds. That's probably the best bit. You just close your eyes, listen to the birds, see the wildlife buzzing about the place. You see the birds picking up the worms. You see the picking up. That sounds awfully polite for eating and murdering, but it's just food, I guess. So technically not murder. You see the bees getting the pollen. You see... Oh, I didn't realise I died during this clip. It's probably not my best promotion of gameplay skills. You see the bees going for the pollen. You see all the birds flying over. You hear the woodpeckers. It's beautiful, man. It's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. And the cold air. I go out there with a coat and a cup of tea. Prop my seats in the garden, in the grass patch. One for me, put a pillow on top of that, put another one opposite me for my feet, put another one to my right for my cup of coffee, tea rather. I'm not a fan of coffee. And the other day I was sketching a tree in my garden, one that's actually I've got quite a personal attachment to for some reason. It's a tree that I've had in my garden, since I've moved here. So I've been living in this house for 7 years. It's been there that whole time. I haven't really noticed it until recently. Up until a few years, it was, it's an apple tree. It's, been very healthy. Sometimes, the first few years it produced, whilst we were living here, it produced apples. It was all healthy. But one year it just caught this sort of disease, I think it is, and it had white fluff all around it. And it wasn't just the pollen that you see during the spring. It was this weird, sort of discharge. And it wasn't producing any apples that year. And then the next year, I can't remember I don't think any leaves grew on it. But this year, it's making a comeback, and it's got 3 main branches, all of which have their own sub branches. One of those branches has life on it, and although it's not growing any apples, it's got leaves, and it's not fully grown. You can tell it's sort of stunted at about halfway. But it's hope. It's better than it was last year. One of the other 3 branches it's got the sort of the buds that you see before the leaves sprout out, and it's sort of grown out these mini branches that are new and alive. But yeah, it's not fully grown. But again, it's progress. The 3rd branch is completely dead, but there are still signs of life tingling. And even if the tree branch is dead, it's got moss on it. It's got mushroom on it. Really small mushroom, fungus. It's life goes on, man. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. It's good to sit down sometimes and just to think about things, just to remember that whatever, you just sit down, just think about your breathing, just take a break sometimes. It's important to give yourself a break. And to, as I said, just ask yourself how things are going. That's why I saved this clip, because that guy goes over the railing. I thought it was really cool, especially since I did the blind firing. Yeah, well, that's pretty much all I had to say for today. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm sort of thinking about doing these more compact, sort of, multiple topics in one. But I'm just making it up as I go along, really, as you guys can tell. I might do non-live commentaries from now on, because it means I get to focus on what I'm talking about a bit more. I hope my improvisational speaking skills are improving. I think they might be. And I hope you guys tune in for a podcast that me and my brother might be making, or not. Who knows how the future will go. God knows I've had my fair share of things I said I'll do on YouTube as a series and then not done at all. So maybe it won't be done at all. So just some short disclaimer, still a disclaimer for you there. But I hope you guys tune into that. If it's ever a thing, it'll probably be on a different channel, but it might be on this one. Who knows? Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed that. Had to get that 10-minute revenue. Nah, just kidding. I don't even get any revenue. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Cheers. Adios.